All right, everyone, let's turn our focus back home to discuss the latest with the Indonesian national team at the ASEAN Championship. Rumors of Shin Tae-yong's potential sacking have begun to surface.
Really?
Especially after the match against Vietnam.
Is it just for
What is everybody drinking? Is it the water? Wow. This tournament is going to what? Do something to Shin Tae-yong.
Yeah, apparently,
Is it serious?
some news believe that the results have not
from this
been
tournament. Come on, give me a break.
Is it specifically about Shin Tae-yong in general, or no, or just this tournament? From just this tournament? Because if it's Shin Tae-yong in Indonesian football in general, that's too much.
Yeah,
if it's just this tournament, okay, maybe sure, but I still don't see if.
Do you think the result for this tournament is enough to sack him?
I mean, like not the whole Indonesian football team that he's currently responsible for. If it's just this tournament, just because of what's going on, then I see why. But it's still funny if they make that decision. But I don't think offloading Shin Tae-yong in general just because of this tournament and the result.
I just would like to know.
Who came up with this?
Yeah, on what basis that you can maybe put Shin Tae-yong's career on the table?
Yeah.
Because of a draw against Laos with a young side. Both teams playing young side, which was a great advert for the tournament, a great game, a lot of drama, fast pace, very positive from both sides. We've seen a lot of talents playing for Indonesia that maybe had a very minimal game time in terms of playing for the age group and for the senior side. A lot of debutants in this tournament. So I think when I'm doing the matches, I see a lot of positives.
Yeah.
In that defeat against Vietnam, how well was that defense set up?
True. They improved a lot.
We play against a Vietnam side who wants to not just beat us, but beat us comprehensively, which it didn't happen. Quang Hai tried to play alone for Vietnam, which was very sad to see. The last time we saw him, he was in tears, and now he's trying. Now he's trying too hard. Which was very sad against kids. He celebrated a goal like that. Come on, give me a break. I think Shin Tae-yong is finding a lot of positives from this tournament and seeing it from a wider perspective, a bigger picture. Players that ones are responsive to his tactics, ones who are not. Maybe a young talent, big name, but didn't perform. So it's a great tournament. The results maybe it's not doing us any good, but still, this is a group system. That's why you have this group stage. It's because you can recover from a defeat and you can maybe calculate your matches, ones to take, ones to maybe just settle for a draw. So that's the beauty of a group stage. And the beauty of it is, after that defeat, if we take care of business against the Philippines, then we'll go through. It doesn't matter how we perform in the group stages. It's what counts is when you reach the knockout rounds.
Any insider news or whispers about it?
Do I have insider news? But I am afraid not. This is not the place to share it.
But you do have some insider news there.
I love that.
Ooh, interesting.
But I have sympathy for Shin when he says the scheduling in this tournament is really hard for his players because the Jebret Media IG just described how much of a hassle it is for a national team to travel. The logistics of traveling 15,000 kilometers to play in 3 different cities in 10 days is just too much for players. And this is not like in European countries where you have like direct flights from this city to this city. You have to transit from Bali to Jakarta to Solo to Vietnam you go to Pau to the city where Viet Tri was. Stadium, was so to Yangon also. This is a very, very tough round of matches this past 10 days for the players, and maybe Shin wants to rotate his team during that period. It is understandable. But yeah, that draw against Laos, I think, yeah, it's such a shame, because if we have won that game, we're in a better position, because we know that the Philippines, they held Vietnam to a draw. Vietnam needed a last minute goal to save themselves in their match against the Philippines.
So, that is exactly my point. Group stage, where you see teams playing very well, getting results from one another, chipping points, not as comfortable as maybe Vietnam would have wanted, Indonesia would have wanted. So it's very competitive. It's good for the group. It's good for the entertainment. And I think Shin is trying to take care of a thing called burnout for young players. And this burnout is very dangerous, because the young players are playing since 2023, maybe earlier than that, playing that Under-20 Asia Cup in Uzbekistan, playing the Tulong tournament for the likes of Hoki Caraka. So that was like the first step in trying to conjure up this team, making this team into a great team, a very young team, very solid performances in the Asia Cup, and now doing very well in the World Cup qualifiers, reaching the stage that we've never reached before. So in terms of rotating, in terms of the squad selection, why do we have to play with the young side here at the ASEAN Mitsubishi Electric Cup? It's because of that. I think he is worried about burning out the players, and there is a bigger task in hand going forward. The matches against Australia, the matches against Bahrain and Tiongkok, or China, which is a must-win. Those two games, the one against Australia is, I think, a draw. So this is about the boss trying to figure out the best way in trying to get cover for the senior side, the real one. You play a lot of talents like Ahmad Maulana Sharif. Absolutely brilliant.
The number 19,
absolutely brilliant. And he was in the squad preparing for the Under-20 Asia Cup in Uzbekistan, doing the training camp in Spain, and was very well in that warm-up, and played very well in Uzbekistan. And now he's showing his trade as well, playing for the side at the ASEAN Championship. So I think there's a lot of positive, and why can't you see the positives? Because it's great to have, like, for instance, Chelsea and then Inter. You have two sides playing in Europe and playing in the domestic league. So now I think that's the way to go. You have to have a roster that's deep in talent and comfortable in playing as a starter, although you're still very young.
And it's very good experience for the players. You know, we're playing our younger players, and they're playing against, you know, the actual senior players of the other teams as well. You know, that itself is already a positive, you know, and managing that burnout is definitely important. But we've got another tournament that we need to focus on, which is the World Cup qualifiers. So it would definitely be a suicide if you actually see the actual national team playing for that qualifiers in this AFF tournament. Then people would say stay it out, because his players would have burnout for the qualifiers. But no, I think it's good for the players. I think I agree with Adi. It's actually quite positive. We're not as sharp as we are in front of the goal, and that's what we actually need. But I think there's a lot of positives from the younger sides, and I think having the quote-unquote the more senior players in Arhan, Marcelino, who's been exposed to the actual senior national team, is nice for them as well. Unfortunately, Marcelino didn't play last game, got a red card the game before, but he brings a lot of experience and a lot of wealth to the other players in terms of his play style. So yeah, I think it's good.
Going back a bit to the logistics and travel difficulties issues, I read that Erick Thohir, Pa Erick, has said something along the lines of just don't complain, do what we have to do.
Yeah, I think it's
doesn't that just counter what Shin Tae-yong's trying to explain to the public?
And Erick uses the European schedule as an example, like players playing in midweek, but it is a challenge. I mean, this is the logistics of this team is different than the logistics of the European the European teams. I mean, those direct flights, those personal flights, chartered flights. They fly using commercial, and 15,000 kilometers the distance that they traveled in the last 10 days. It's like 3 times the distance from Sabang to Merauke. I mean, it's like 3 times the length of Indonesia. That's a lot of traveling to do. So I think with the players now, with the extra resting time, I mean, it's very important. 5 days of extra times. What I gather from the PSSI is, they want Shin to know his best composition already, to know his best set of players, his best team, so we can win against the Philippines, because we have an exceptional record against the Philippines. I think it's 21 wins and just 1 losses in our previous meeting since 1958, and we've won against them 13-1 at one point in 2002, I guess. And the last time we met
in the same competition, right?
In the same competition, in the last time we met, it was 2-0. An easier 2-0.
It was a bit tough, I think. It was a bit
seriously,
tough.
I think,
a bit tough. And then the away match as well was rather difficult. We drew.
We drew 1-1.
Not easy when you play in the Philippines in that artificial pitch. Maybe the worst one. It's good that we are playing in Surakarta, and we're not out of the competition. We have all the players that we know can perform, and I think if you say about Pak Eric maybe is at odds with Sintayong, I don't think so. I think Pak Eric knows where to push the button. I think he is a great businessman, and he knows how to work with his employees, and this is just his way. And I think from his point of view, as the big boss, he wants results. Whatever the player, whatever the coach's decision, he trusts him, and with that trust, he needs a result. And maybe for a businessman, for a boss like Eric Thohir, that draw was not a good look against Laos, and then you follow it up with a defeat. He doesn't care about how the team plays. He just cares about the result, because it's a business-based thing, and 3 points is what is most important. So I think the players know how to respond to that. The players know that Eric cares a lot about the side. He loves Sintayong, of course, and Sin knows the connection is there between him and Eric. They always speak to one another, and it's very open. So I think it's still a great relationship, and I think the result will come, and we will be plain steel and go through to the next round.
Okay, so let's take a look at the group table for a second, because we both know that Philippines and Vietnam ended their match with a draw, right?
We're still
1-1.
So we absolutely cannot lose that game against our next game, because they still can get past us, and it's unthinkable for us to went out in the group stages. If we lost against Thailand in the semi-final, so be it, but not against the Philippines. Our country's stature demanded us to get out of the group stages in every stage of the IFF. But I think going forward, speaking about how the team speaks for themselves. I mean, our pass ratio with the Shin coaching this team, I think there's still a lot of room for development. I think our pass completion rate is only 80% in this tournament. We are only better than Timor-Leste, Myanmar, and Laos. I think it's not good enough. Even if you watch our games, it's hard to see the players passing between each other when they get into the opposition half. Against Vietnam, it's understandable. It's on hostile territory, and against a senior team. But in the match against Laos, we need to be better. And against Myanmar, also we won by a single goal. But I think we need to be better than that.
Yeah, but I think the risk of playing a young side, that is the risk. They will make mistakes. And mistakes can happen, but it can be fixed. And I think with the enough training towards the match in Surakarta, I think the team will play well, and from such pressure situation is very good for the young players to come up with solutions. And I think in the matches against Laos, the matches against Vietnam, in moments there were moments where we can score a goal. Didn't happen. Detan was one-on-one with Philip Nguyen. Didn't happen. If he scored, it could be different. So game management comes into the conversation as well for Timnas, especially in that game against Vietnam. Just that one crazy moment where Quang Hai took over, and then as he was trying too hard, Cahya Supriyadi was not able to guard the goal and then block away the shot. The second one, the first one hit the crossbar, right? So again, moments, but still group stages. So it's a lot of things can go wrong, but things can be rectified, and I think Shin Tae-yong can nullify a lot of minuses, and still I'm confident with the game. Come the weekend, we can win, and don't forget, watch it with me.
Always.
The man behind the voice, Adiani, as per usual. Now, considering the strengths and weaknesses that we've seen so far, what should Indonesia's approach be against the Philippines to ensure victory, Kiko?
Well, I think getting that solid, connection in the midfield, getting some passes, again, being disciplined on the back line. Oh, that's a lot. And being more clinical up front. I think if we play well, we'll get the win. And that's what we need right now with Indonesia. We haven't been playing too bad. It's just the result hasn't been speaking for itself just recently. But as Adi said, it's still a group stage. But if we get a positive result against the Philippines, I think we'll be okay. But yeah, it's that midfield passing, it's that clinical up front, and definitely a more solid back line, which this back line was okay. It can get better though. So
the disconnect on the midfield, do you agree?
Yeah,
anything else?
Yeah, that pass completion rate. I mean, we're only higher than Timor-Leste, Myanmar, and Laos. I think we need to better ourselves there from that aspect of the game. And I want to see our senior players in the team, the Marcelino and Rafa Struik, especially, be more confident in their abilities.
Be more clinical.
And
hockey.
Be more of.
And be more hockey.
Be more hockey.
I was mentioning about hockey. Yeah, that too.
Give hockey his luck. I mean, the kid deserves it. I mean, he works hard.
Works very hard.
But unfortunately, he doesn't get into those dangerous positions. And with Rafa there, with Marcelino coming back in, I want to see them get that pressure on their shoulders, and like getting lead this young team. Show them how it's done, because of all the three senior players, Asnawi, Arhan, and Marcelino. I mean, Arhan with his long throws that help us as good as he is right now. But yeah, from Marcelino and Rafa, still we need to see more from him with Asnawi. I think his leadership and his ready to die on the battlefield kind of mentality is the one that we need, and it's a great shout from him to get forward, also helping us getting that open play goal that we desperately need. Okay, having those set pieces goals are good, but yeah, we still need to be more clinical on our open play situation.
Yep.
Adi, anything else?
Yeah, don't do an Arsenal. What, 8 hours?
Forgot to score
8 hours
from
or
open
so
play.
without a goal.
Do an
open play.
Yeah.
I think Marcelino will rise up. I think
Arhan needs to rise up. Yeah.
And Asnawi Mangkualam as well. I think I have my money on Rafael Struik to score a goal against the Philippines. I can bet on that. I'm very sure about that. So it's going to be a tricky game, but if we can get an early goal, it'll settle a lot of nerves.
Yep.
True.
Playing in Surakarta with the environment very positive, the crowd close to you. It's better than seeing a match at the Emirates, seeing a match at the London Stadium. Very beautiful Surakarta. So again, when you're that close to the fans, you can feel the energy, you can perform as best as you can, and it's very easy to please us, the Indonesian football crazy fans. If you play with your heart, you play to your best, with that pace and that positivity, attack from the beginning, defend strongly, it's enough for us to beat the Philippines.
Right. Interesting discussions as per usual. Thank you guys for being here with me. Or I don't know how many episodes we have so far.
10,025.
10,025.
But always a pleasure working with you all. And thank you so much for watching. Jebret Team. We'll see you guys next week only on DPI EV. Bye.